Hello YouTube. Today I'm gonna be properly dressed. I'm gonna be dressed, in a well-mannered way because I'm gonna be teaching everybody in this game, alright, how to use every legend one by one. From now on, every video that comes out is gonna be one individual legend. Alright? We're gonna go step by step and there's gonna be two legends I'm gonna X out because yeah, come on now, y'all know why. Alright? I'm gonna X out Two-Face and I'm gonna X out John Stewart. All right, all right. Don't even ask why. Don't even ask why. All right, come on now. Yeah, I know why. Yeah, I know exactly why. All right, you don't even need my help for those two legends. All right, so for today's video, we're gonna be working on Batman. All right, there's multiple variants of Batman. New 20, new 52. You know, Dark Knight Batman, modern Batman. Classic Batman, and Batman. My favorite one is Future Batman. Because I just love Future Batman. Some people say he hits harder than the rest. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that theory. Because I be picking classic Batman and I still do a good amount of damage. So, yeah, but for Batman, uh, he's not going to be a hard legend to learn. He's pretty well versatile when it comes to fighting every legend, including those broken too. All right, let's get to it. All right, man. Now, sorry for the lack of edits, cause I don't got my aux cord with me. I usually have an aux cord for every video, but right now this is gonna be no edits, just straight raw showcase. Just raw showcase. Now, for Batman, he's martial arts. One of my favorite weapons in the game, bruh. One of my favorite weapons in the game for PvP, bro. Alright. Batman, he can beat almost any legend, actually every legend in the game if you're really good at him. If you're really good at him, he could beat literally anything. Alright. Now, when you use Batman, I'm gonna just like make this clear, bruh. I'm gonna make this very clear, alright? Do not, and I repeat, do not use this move at all, alright? Don't use this move at all. I'm gonna use it again and look at my power bar. Look at that. Look at my power bar. It is on life support. Look at how much power it takes out of all the other abilities. Look at this. Nah, bruh. Don't use that ability, alright? That ability, first of all, is not worth the damage. It's minimum damage, alright? Just freaking mediocre, medium damage compared to all the other abilities like Taser Pull and freaking Pounce and Batarang. Alright? Matter of fact, for the whole video, that ability right here is going to be X'd out. Alright? There's going to be an X, just a big X on that ability. Alright? I'm just going to put a big X. Alright? So don't even use it. Alright? Now, every time you queue up in Legends and you're playing as Batman, your first freaking, this goes for every stealth legend. Every legend that has a stealth ability, this happens a lot, okay? Your first stealth, like, move, the first time you use your stealth in a game, is gonna be glitched out. You saw how delayed it was? So, always, when you spawn in, like, the spawner, always use your stealth inside the spawn. Don't even, like, go to the node and use it. Just go to your stealth immediately. As soon as you spawn in, use your stealth and just use it, because your first stealth is always going to be glitched out. Alright, and if you don't use your stealth early in the game, next time you use it in your first fight, it's going to sell you. It's not going to work. So just know that. So how do you use Batman? I already told you the basics, and the bugs for stealth powers for Legends. When you're MA, when you're a weapon like MA, it's gonna require you to use your weapon skills, all right? Because you know, if you're good at using your weapon, you can be good at using Batman, all right? Using Batman, he's not that hard to use, all right? Again, don't use this ability at all. You saw you saw my power bar. Never use that ability. Always your best friend, all right? Your best friend for Batman is gonna be Taser Pull, Pounce. I just really I don't know the ability names for this. Let me see. Mm, Forward flip, grapple, and explosive batarangs. Those three moves are gonna be your best friends. All right. Swarming bats. Don't use that. Don't use that BS. All right. Don't use that shit. That shit is ass. These three, these are gonna be your best friends. All right. So when you use Batman, you know, before you fight anybody, you can use your drone if you're out of combat. Never pop a drone when you're in combat because it's gonna make you vulnerable to her attacks and it's gonna waste a lot of power. You always pop this when you're out of combat, so you get your power regen. And once you do that, you know you can do whatever you want. And yet again, MA is gonna require you to use your weapon skills. All right, just think like this when you're using Batman. Think like this, bruh. Combos is pushing damage. All right, and players understand that pushing damage is not good, so they're gonna block a lot. All right, a lot of players are gonna block a lot when fighting a Batman. You know, so just keep in mind you have to predict your players when when you're fighting with Batman, because that shit is really it's gonna be a little difficult to predict some players. You know, there's some players out there that knows how to really be unreadable, but that's okay, because the more you play as Batman, the more skillful you're gonna get, the more used to weapons you know you're gonna get, and it's fine. You know, see me personally when I use Batman, this is how I this is how I start off with Batman. All right, let's say okay, I'm going to the node. First thing I do once I see the player, I pounce at them. I forward flip at them because it stuns them and it gives me enough time to push damage. Because Batman is a push damage character. All right. And most of the times when I get a combo in, I use my battering and then I do it again. Most players, once they get hit by the battering, they mostly block. They block when the battering exploded. So I BB them, you know. Once they do that, because most players would block on a battering. Once a battering is exploding, that shit they block. That's most players though. Some players just don't do that, because like I said, some players are unreadable, you know. And battering is also gonna be your best friend because battering pushes damage a lot. People think it doesn't do any damage, but if you look at those numbers, right, those are 100s, all each like 150s, 140s. If you add them up together, that's a lot. That's a lot of damage. It's 300, and then if you add those 50s and 40s, it goes up to like 400 to 500. So don't sleep on battering. Battering is your best friend. And keep in mind, a lot of people really blocks on battering because it stuns and it push damage. So keep in mind. If you're really trying to get some blues in, most people would block when they see you doing your combos. You know, your combos are blockable. So keep in mind, once you see that shit, you can also, you know, because keep in mind, you're playing on PlayStation or PC, all right? This server is pretty delayed, so you can probably do this, you know? Once you're doing your combos, you can bait people. Use your forward flip and then BB afterwards. Right after the animation, you could do that, you know? Use your combos, you know? Bait, BB. Because the forward flip is a really good baiting ability. This move is really good for baiting BBs. So some people do that. Don't use it too much because again, this is a reading game. This is a fighting game. All right. Once you do the same thing, people's gonna keep in mind. They're gonna punish that. So you have to be really creative. You know, use your imagination. Try to be as unreadable as possible. And you know, sometimes when your tricks don't work, you just have to play it the old-fashioned way. You know, you just have to imagine when they're gonna block. Like most people, another thing is most people would block on this end of the combo. Once you do this, like right there at that point where he does his put his fist together, most people will block at that. So I would do this, and then and then BB. You know, most people would block on the third attack where you kick. Most people block on that. So, you know, at that animation, I BB. And I don't really BB on this animation because it's really risky. This animation is really risky, and it's not really good for catching blues. So if you really want to get that animation, then like right here, if you really want to get a blue on this, then the best chance of you doing that is if you do this. All right, if you do this, just tap up to your thing because most people would think you're doing a smoke bomb, and remember you're in U.S. server, so it's gonna be very delayed. So you do this, smoke bomb animation, then tap, then do that. Tap 2 times, then do that. That's the best chance of you getting a blue on the second tap. So, because most people would block on the smoke bomb, and I don't really get catch blues on the smoke bomb because it's really mediocre. And to be honest, it doesn't push damage because tapping with MA is not really good for pushing damage. Because if you look at these numbers, freaking two-handed hits harder than that when it's tapping. So keep in mind. And yeah, that's Batman. Batman, he's a pushing character. He's a bait character. These 3 moves really good at pushing damage, and you can really catch blues with him very easily if you know how to use martial arts. So keep in mind. All right. Once you catch your blues, you can catch a blue and get into a stealth and really clip with it. And that's the thing with Batman. You can really clip with Batman too with your stealth. And yeah, there's really not a lot to explain with Batman. Batman, he's really easy to use. And yeah, there we go. Hope you enjoyed.